You ever been fishing before? You ever not really enjoy yourself too much because you thought it was too slow? Well, it may have had more to do with how you were fishing rather than just the fishing itself. Today, I want to talk to you about fly fishing. First, I want to show you all the components and all the gear that you need to go fly fishing, and then I'll give you some tips and how to actually fly fish. So, this right here is called a fly rod. The first major component that we're going to go over is the rod itself. This rod they can get anywhere from 6 foot all the way up to like 11 foot. And they have this weighting system. This one right here is a 4 weight. They get all the way up to like a 12 weight. And the weighting system is just basically, depending on the type of fish that you want to catch, you want to choose a rod that's appropriate for the fish you're trying to catch. So we're out here on a river today. There's no fish in here is going to be too much for this rod, so we have the correct gear. Now the next part is the reel. Now the reels are pretty standard. They all just have this drag system that makes it a little bit easier for you to fight the fish and puts a little tension on the line just to make things a little bit easier. But all the reels are pretty much pretty similar, and one's just about the same as the other. Now the one component that makes this different from any other type of fishing or fishing rod is this yellow stuff right here. This is what is called fly line, and it'll actually float on top of the water. This is different from a lot of other conventional fishing because a lot of the line when you're doing those types of fishing will actually sit down in the water. But this will float on top of the water. And it's nice because we're in a river here and it has current, and we're able to get a nice drift out of it. And that fly line is the majority of our reel, and it comes all the way down to this real clear stuff called a tapered leader. And it basically, all it is just this regular fishing line that's thick at one end and then gets thin down towards the other end where you have your fly. Now these flies can range from anything from little bugs or little flies all the way up to like bait fish and different stuff like that. Again, it just depends on the type of fish that you're trying to target. Now that we're going to get into the fishing part of things, there's 2 different types of casts that I'm going to show you here today. The first cast is going to be the overhead cast, and the second one is going to be the roll cast. Now each cast has its pros and its cons, and so I'd like to show you both to give you all the options. Now first, the overhand cast. So what you're going to want to do is you're going to want to put your fly and your fly line in the water. And the main thing with the overhand cast is that the fly is actually going to go behind you, and it's almost going to act like a whip. So you're going to send that fly all the way back, wait a second for that fly to get all the way back there, and then you're going to let it go forward, just like so. Now this tactic is very useful when you need to make really long casts, because you can really just keep pulling line out and keep those casts keep going further and further out. But the one thing you need is you need a lot of open space. Now if you don't have a lot of open space, you can use what we call a roll cast. Now with a roll cast, it's very similar, except you're going to throw that fly out and you're going to pull it in this time, but this time you're not going to let it come all the way out of the water. And once it's right back at your feet, you're just going to simply roll it back out. Now this is very helpful when you have a lot of cover around you. It can be very difficult just to be able to fish. You don't have all this room behind you to cast. But that is basically fly fishing. Now I would recommend that it does take time, and I recommend you guys don't get discouraged right away. Like I always say, persistence always will pay off. But I hope you give fly fishing a shot when you go out fishing next time.